Because most men think going silent is going to make things calmer, easier, like she'll just accept it and move on. That is not what happens. What actually happens is she loses control. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what that looks like step by step. So when it happens to you, you don't panic, you don't fold, and you don't go back to the female narcissist.
Welcome to the Narc Free Man Podcast.
Welcome back to the Narc Free Man Podcast. I'm Phillip. Let's get into it. Let me start simple. Going no contact means you stop all communication with her. No texts, no calls, no emails, no looking at her Instagram, no asking her friends how she's doing, nothing. Complete silence. Now, some of you already have kids with this woman, so pure no contact isn't always possible, and I'll cover that. But first, let me explain the point of it, because most men get this wrong. No contact is not about punishing her. It's not a game to make her miss you. It is not a trick to get her back. No contact is about one thing: protecting yourself so you can start healing. Now, here's the best way I can explain it. You know how when you break a bone, the doctor puts a cast on it? Well, the cast isn't doing the healing. Your body does the healing, but the cast keeps you from re-injuring yourself while the repair happens. No contact is the cast. You are the broken bone, and she is the impact you need to stop taking. Every time you respond to a text, every time you check her profile, every time you engage with anything she does, you are re-injuring yourself. You cannot heal while you keep taking the hit. That's why no contact matters. Not to control her, to protect you. Okay, if no contact is the answer, why is it so hard to actually do? Well, I'm going to give you the honest answer, and I need you to hear this without judging yourself. You were conditioned. Now, here's what I mean. In this relationship, she was warm sometimes and cold other times, right? Kind sometimes to you, cruel other times, close to you and distant. And you never quite knew which version of her was coming. That back and forth, that unpredictability does something to your brain. It makes you obsessed with figuring out how to get the good version back. You are always trying, always adjusting, and always hoping that she'll change. Now, psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. I call it the slot machine effect. Now, if you think about a slot machine, if it paid out every single time you pulled the lever, you get bored, right? Because it pays out randomly, sometimes nothing, sometimes a little, sometimes big. You can't stop pulling the lever. So you keep going because you never know when the reward is coming. That's exactly what this relationship felt like. The good moments hit harder than they should because they were unpredictable. And now that you are trying to leave, your brain is still pulling the lever, still waiting for the payout. Now, that's not weakness. That's how your brain responds to that pattern. It's called a trauma bond. And the other reason it's hard is because you are scared of her reaction. Now, most men going into no contact are worried. What if she shows up? What if she says something to the kids? What if she turns people against me? What if she does something crazy? Now, that fear is real, and I'm going to show you exactly what to expect so you're not flying blind. When you go no contact, she doesn't just shrug and move on. She goes through stages, and if you know the stages, nothing she does will catch you off guard. Here they are. Stage 1 is confusion. So first, she gets confused. She's not used to you going quiet. In this relationship, she was the one who controlled when things were good and when they weren't. So when you suddenly go silent, she doesn't know what to make of it. You'll probably get a casual text, something like, hey, haven't heard from you. Everything okay? Sounds innocent, right? But it's not. That message is a test. She's checking to see if the silence is real. If you respond, even with something short and harmless, You just told her the answer. The silence wasn't real. The door is still open. So do not respond. Not to be rude, but not as a power move, but because every response is a signal that she still has access to you. When you don't respond, she moves to stage 2. Stage 2 is hoovering. This is the most important stage to understand. And it has a strange name, right? Hoovering, like the vacuum brand. It means that she tries to suck you back in. And here's what makes this stage so dangerous. It doesn't look like manipulation, it looks like love. Suddenly, she's sorry. She misses you. She's been thinking about everything. She knows she needs to change. She's working on herself and she just wants to talk. Does that sound familiar? This is not a breakthrough. This is a strategy. She is saying exactly what she knows you wanted to hear because she studied you long enough to know what that is. Other hoovering moves or the crisis, like suddenly something terrible is happening and she needs you. Maybe it's her health, maybe it's money, maybe it's a family emergency. She knows you are a good man. She's counting on you, on that goodness, to override your clarity. Or the jealousy move. She's suddenly outliving her best life and somehow you find out about it. The new guy, maybe new friends, new everything. The goal is to make you feel like you are losing something, so you reach out. And there's the kids card. If you have children together, suddenly there are more issues that require your direct attention. More things only you can handle. More reasons she needs to talk to you, not through a co-parenting app, but directly. Now here's the rule for all of it. No response every single time. Not because you don't care, but because every response feeds the cycle. Now stage 3 is rage. When hoovering doesn't work, when you keep the door closed, stage 3 arrives. The warmth disappears, the kindness disappears, and now you are seeing something different. Talking explosive messages, long texts that hit every insecurity you have ever shared with her, accusations that make no sense, voicemails. Maybe she shows up somewhere. Maybe she starts talking to people in your life. This is narcissistic rage. And I want you to understand what it actually is. She is not doing this because she loves you and she's hurting. She is doing this because her sense of control just got taken away. And for a narcissist, losing control feels like an emergency. It feels terrifying. So she swings hard trying to get a reaction, any reaction, because a reaction means she still has influence over you. Even your anger is supply. Even your defense is supply. Even calling her out is supply. The answer is still silence. And here's the important thing I want you to hear about stage 3. The louder she gets, the more extreme she gets. That's not a sign that you are doing something wrong. That's a sign you are doing something right. Her reaction is your report card. And she's telling you no contact is working. Stage 4 is the replacement. Now this one hurts. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. She moves on fast. A new guy, new social media posts, new life. And from the outside, it looks like you meant nothing. I need you to hear this clearly. The speed she moves on at is not about how much you mattered. It's about the fact that she wasn't in the relationship the same way you were. She wasn't in love with you the way you were in love with her. What she had was supply, attention, validation, and control. And supply can be transferred to a new source faster than real love can be replaced. Now that new guy, he's in the love bombing phase right now. He thinks he found the one. He has no idea what's coming. And here's what you need to do with this stage. Stop watching. Again, if you're following her on social media, unfollow her, mute, block, whatever you need to do. Anytime you try and check on her, you're reopening that wound. So stop doing that. Now, stage 5 is the return. Weeks later, could be sometimes months later, sometimes longer, she comes back around. Not with rage this time, quietly. It could be a simple message, something low-key that seems to have no agenda. Now, this is the most dangerous moment of the whole process because by now, you've gotten some distance, like you've started to feel like yourself again. Your guard is down and then she reappears, softer this time. And all of that progress starts to feel negotiable. Here's what's actually happening. The new supply source she moved to isn't working out, or she's bored, or something reminded her of you. And she's coming back not because she's grown or changed, but because she wants what you gave her back. She's not returning for you. She's returning for your supply. The answer is the same answer it's always been. No response. And I'll add one more thing here. A lot of men at this point think, I'm stronger now. I can handle a conversation. I just want closure. Brother, you are not going to get closure from her. Closure is not something she can give you. It's something you give yourself. Don't risk everything you have built for a conversation that will not give you what you are looking for. Hold the line. I want to make sure you walk away from this episode with one clear understanding. Every single thing she does after you go no contact, every text, every rage, every hoovering attempt, every crisis, every return is not evidence that you made a mistake. It is evidence that you made the right call. Now, here's the simple logic. If you truly meant nothing to her, she would move on without a second glance. She would not text. She would not rage. She would not come back. The fact that she is reacting, sometimes intensely, tells you exactly how much supply you were providing. Not because you were a good target, but because you were her primary source. And she can feel the loss of that. So when things get hard, when she sends the message that makes your chest tight, when the hoovering hits at the worst possible moment, I want you to reread that moment differently. She is not in your life right now telling you to come back. She is giving you evidence that the boundary is working. That's a completely different thing. Let me bring it all together. Going no contact with a narcissistic woman is not about her, it's about you. It's the cast on the broken bone. It's the space your mind and your body need to actually start healing. She will go through stages when you do it. Confusion first, then hoovering, where she tries to pull you back in with love, crisis, or jealousy, then rage. And when none of that works, then she'll find someone new and make sure you know about it. And then eventually she'll come back. At every single stage, the answer is the same: no response. And at every single stage, her reaction is confirmation. Not that you were wrong, but that you are right. Now, a quick note for those of you with kids. Pure no contact is not always possible when you share children. What you use instead is called parallel parenting, and you communicate only through a co-parenting app like Our Family Wizard or Talking Parents. You keep everything short, factual, and only about the kids. No emotion, no personal conversation, just logistics. That is no contact in spirit, and it works. If this episode helped you understand something you have been trying to figure out, share it. Right now, there's a man in your life who is in the middle of this and doesn't have a name for what's happening to him. Send him this episode. It might be the thing that changes his direction. Drop a comment below. Tell me where you are at in this process. If you're still in it, in the middle of no contact, already out the other side and rebuilding, I read every comment and I'll respond. And if you are ready for more than just a video or a podcast episode, if you want real support, real strategy, my one-on-one phone coaching sessions are open. I'll link it down in the description below. You have been alone in this long enough. Thanks for listening to the Narc Free Man podcast. Stay strong and stay narc free.